the conditioning in the body of wanting to cover over this type of awareness, openness, is fascinating to watch. Like, you know, like, oh, here we go. And then boom, it's little by little gets covered over again. And they're like, oh, that was interesting. You want to be a scientist, you know? Listen, that's interesting. That response is so quick to cover up this opening, just that lives here in me, here now, this opening. And then you bring understanding to the body. It's okay. We're not dying. It's okay. And the body gets used to this too. It's the mind, it's the body. And honestly, this is the natural state. We got conditioned out of this kind of thing, of being here and at rest with this whole need of always filling in space and becoming and filling stuff in. That's been learned. So you're going backwards in time in a way to this more innocent wonder and that you contain still. And so the body has to be trained again, and the mind has to be trained. This is okay, this is safe. And that's why sometimes I say, go do nervous system work, you know, yoga, network chiropractic, craniosacral, whatever, to help the body and the nervous system relax, you know, yoga nidra, whatever it is, these wonderful systems that we have that help the nervous system unwind and relax. Because if we have a lot of built up anxiety and trauma and conditioning, it's hard to get that quiet, you know, the body, it's hard to get the body to a place of feeling safe enough to relax into this unknown. So then you do that kind of work, all the while with an understanding of why you're doing it. You know? I'm emptying out so that I can open. But you don't want to be putting it in time again forever. You want to keep trying it out. Oh, every day, multiple times a day. Just stopping inside and resting. I don't know. Get comfortable with the unknown. Because you never know when the magic moment happens. And then you just live this way because that's what you are. The mind just goes, oh, finally, the mind. Okay, so like the thinking mind, it gets to lay itself down in this cradle of being what it is. Right? Instead of, you know, active, I'm going to avoid. And I've been taught to do this because I think that if the plug is pulled, it's over. But really that's been entrained, and the body too. And so then it's just like mind rests in what it's made of, what its home is, what it's made. It's made of this, the substance. The unknown is what the mind rises and falls in. Okay, it goes blah, 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 blah. I'm going to create, this thought. I'm going to create the universe. That's the mind of God. I'm going to stay in constant movement, whatever it is, right? All the while, what it's made of is here. And so when we relax into the unknown, into this empty space, this gap, the mind has a chance to remember what it is in truth. I called it, for myself, I went, oh, the mind wakes up to itself. The mind wakes up to the fact that what it's made of. And it went, it can think all at once from then on. It's not a problem. But it doesn't, it no longer is it the master that is pulling all the strings and covering over the truth. It's exhausted. You've heard of, there's some kind of song or some kind of cool thing that somebody made, like the mind is exhausted. You probably haven't heard it, but anyway, the mind is exhausted. Isn't it true? The mind is exhausted because it's not resting in what its true home. And it's like, I keep having to do all this work. And the same goes for this feeling in the body, like there's unending doer, the doer in the body. The doer is exhausting. And the doer is also the seeker, interestingly enough. And the seeker is meant to exhaust itself, like something else is going on. This is what the seeker is about. And what it says, something else is happening here, and I want to know what it is. Right? It's intelligence saying there's something else more true that's going on. And I want to know what that is, because I'm exhausted. The world this playground hasn't really given me my sense of self, the wholeness that I'm longing for, right? Because it doesn't lie outside of us. But the mind can't think its way to it. That's the point, And that's why I say spiritual concepts and practices that have to do with the mind thinking it's getting somewhere is not going to produce anything. I'm not against practices. I'm not against anything like that. If it has an undoing effect for real, great. But now you know what the end result, what it's really trying to get you to, no matter what kind of practice you're doing. And that is to stop. Stop running, right? Stop dreaming yourself into being. Stop the becoming. This hungry ghost that always wants to do more and know more. And I'm not saying don't have a wonderful life and don't travel, don't do great things. That's not it. But just remember what the point is. The point is for you to get comfortable with this open space within yourself. However you want to put it, whatever words you want to use. Today I called it the unknown. Tomorrow I could call it being. One could call it vastness, divine intelligence, mystery. You fill in what works for you, okay? Mystery is kind of nice because you can't really create something out of mystery. It's just, can you know what mystery is? Can you ever know what mystery is? No. So you want to keep it that kind of like like the deer in the headlight feeling, like I said earlier, like I can't even manufacture something that I think this is. That's how empty it is. So maybe if you want to, if it resonates, you're on the path of befriending the unknown, on the path of exploring the mystery without wanting to catch it and identify it. If you're exploring and you're doing it in an open, full kind of way, fine. But if you're exploring it with like a butterfly net, it's not going to work. Like, if there was like, there must have been some teachers like this. Maybe they were Zen, I don't know, some real hardcore teachers. Like, I'm just kind of picturing that whenever, the seeker would come and sit in front of them and the teacher would say, I bet you this happened in different ways. So what is it you've learned? And they'd listen, they'd go, no, not it. Go out and pull some more cabbage or pick some cabbages or bake some bread or do whatever. That's not it. And then the student would come back and sit there and go, okay, what do you think? What have you learned so far? Well, it's full of something that I like to say, dancing particles of light. And they'd be like, yeah, okay, nice, but not quite it, And it isn't that any of these things aren't milestones or part of it, right? That's not it. It's more that a real teacher, or let's say that, would want someone to fully land and once and for all, end of story, and not get caught up with all the little jewels along the way, put them in their pocket, right? Well, okay, so a student comes up into the heavenly gates and says, and St. Peter says, so what do you know? Well, I know that I don't know. Okay, well, sit here. You don't get to go in yet. But that's pretty good. Let's try it out. Let's see how real this is. And they sit there and they sit there. Do you still not know? Yeah, I can't, none of my little gems in my pocket are doing the trick right now. I just actually don't know. Nothing's produced anything so far. Do some of you feel that way? Nothing has produced anything so far. Okay, well, that's really a good start, but not quite there yet, and that's okay. You swim in that unknown and keep swimming there. And the whole body mind needs to settle. Until it's just like it rests with this peacefulness that it comes out of, I don't know. And then that person may get up and say, okay, well, you can either let me in or not, but I'm done. And they're like, okay, yeah, okay, no. Something knows that it's done. what is it? Gate, gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhisvaha. Gone, gone, gone beyond. Beyond, beyond. Beyond the beyond. That's what gets up. Gone, gone, gone beyond.